Hello. I've been very busy in the past few months because I went along to a Beam Theatre social event where creative people were meant to sit around and talk about creative things. That was in July, I think, and now late October. And a lady came in who said that there's Hearts Arts grant that people can apply for getting a little money towards creative projects as long as um, a lot of people would benefit, as long as there's an audience who could go into Hertford and experience whatever the event is. And on a separate topic on the same day, one of the people around the table was talking about how he wanted there to be subtitles appear during his play. And one person there suggested a technology where the audience can hold their mobile phone and look through it, and subtitles would overlay over the play. And so there was that idea. There was this idea of applying for funding, plus an anecdote that one person who got funding last year had done some kind of interactive experience. Um, and I thought, well, I could do that. I could give that a go. So I applied without really having a full idea of what the experience would be. I just said, I've done these Ghost Walk in Hertford short films every year for quite a few years now, and I would like the next film to be more of an interactive event. And then in late August, I was contacted and told that I now would get the funding, as long as I demonstrate that I create the event and gather some statistics about it. So then I had to actually write the thing, and I went on to Chat GPT and I asked it about ghosts in Hertford because I've Googled the subject before, um, but I just thought maybe Chat GPT could tell me something I don't already know. And it came back with a story about a very sinister character in Hertford, and I wanted to know more, so I was asking it, "Oh, what's your source for that?" And it said, "Oh no, I just made that up." And I realised I had to be quite careful with Chat GPT because it wasn't very good at explaining that the answer it was giving me was fiction. And I thought, well, if fictional ghosts are the only way I'm going to fill up this interactive experience, I want them to be at least historically accurate. So then I started looking into historical events in England and to what extent they were experienced in Hertfordshire. And I then came up with a mix of characters who are in Hertford history, and in addition to that, characters who are ghosts who probably lived lives very similar to people who had similar struggles and problems, because in history we know that certain stressful events happened. So there must have been people experiencing the same regrets as the ghosts. And I thought, well, that's reasonable. And so I built up my list of ghosts who people would need to visit as they walk through Hertford holding their smartphone. Um, and that's what I've built, and it's live now. It went live on Friday, and if you go to zombiesinhertford.co.uk, and as long as it's in the evening after 7 p.m., that's the right time to go out and do the experience. You can watch a video on the website that is the story, the backbone of why you should be traveling through Hertford. There's a purpose to it and a climax to it. And then at some point around 7 p.m. or later in the evening, you'd go out to the first spot, experience what's to be experienced there, and then you get told where to go next in Hertford. And it's a trail, a ghost walk. Um, in order to uh, achieve this, I had to use quite a lot of software, um, AI software. I used video generation text prompts. I used um, Grok, ChatGPT. Um, I used a 3D software called Meshi. And then around the end of the project, I really needed the voices of different characters to be specific. And I found, well, I used properly a website called 11 Labs, and I was able to put in lines of these AI actors, and they could come out in another language's accent, or a woman's voice, a man's voice, a scary voice, and that was very good. And then around the same time, I was researching software that can create music from a text prompt, and I saw that 11 Labs also does that. So I went into that feature of 11 Labs, and two pieces of music within the experience were produced by me providing lyrics and then describing the musical instruments or the mood of the music which should accompany the lyrics. And then within about a minute, it just throws out a song in the voice that I've described with the instruments I've described. It's been a very good learning experience for me, and I do think people are going to really enjoy this experience. So if you go on to zombiesinhartford.co.uk, you should give it a try. How's it going so far?
It's going really lovely, thank you.
Good.
I
Okay.
really enjoyed the experience.
Let's do the next one.